having Garuda on.
You hate him?
We're live.
Oh crap! Let me mute this.
You hate him. I can't believe you said you hated him.
Jeez.
Like live on the air. That's crazy.
Dang.
I mean, I guess
you to say that, Ollie, like that. That's cold-blooded of you.
Right.
So the background story on that is Umbra was just like, well, I don't really care if Garuda's here or not.
I did not say such a thing.
I love Garuda.
I would not do that. Come on.
So I guess first announcement is we have lost a panel member. Unfortunately, Garuda reached out earlier in the week, and he is unable to continue doing the show. We'll miss him. I'll miss him greatly, but he'll be around. He'll pop in and out. So, just a big thank you from all of us here at the Infinite for Garuda's time. And it's a real shame that that he's had to leave the show. And hopefully one day he can come back. We'd love to have him back anytime, even if it's just as a guest. But unfortunate. Shout out to you, Garuda. We'll miss you. Holly, would you like to say some kind words? I feel like I should play.
I love Garuda the most out of everybody here, and I will miss him the most.
She's saying it now that we're live, but you all have heard her before the show.
My favorite memory of Garuda, it's not like he's dead. This is ridiculous. But my favorite memory of Garuda is that day when we were talking about consoles and something had happened with Sony. And I'm talking and I look over and he's like, and then like bounced around like this. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, console war. And he's like it was the funniest thing. And that wasn't very long ago.
Yeah.
It was really
No,
good.
It wasn't. No, that was a good show. I remember that. And he was like bouncing in his chair, like fucking.
Yeah, he wasn't even paying attention to us. He was just fighting in chat. Like it was a good time.
It was a good time. Yes. Sorry, we're good.
My favorite memory of him was when he was letting us all know about him, being pursued by the Cake Man. And
it's a never-ending saga.
Yeah, never-ending saga. I still fear for him right now. Hopefully his cakes are safe. And I think in honor of that, I think we should give him a fitting outro, like it's
absolutely.
So
my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
To say goodbye to yesterday. That's for you, Garuda.
Look, it's sad. It's sad when we lose someone from the panel, but that's life. His roster changed. He's got a little one. His missus is a bit of a hard case. We love her too. She's amazing. Never met her, never spoken to her, but apparently she's pretty amazing.
I
tried. So we're gonna miss the dude. It's a bit of a pity, but the show must go on. So Umbra, how's your week been? What have you been up to? Why would you pull that? Why'd you pull that face, Holly? Like, oh my god,
Sorry.
the cliche.
It was my back. No, it was my back.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, and Holly's having a hard couple of days, right? Yeah. Well, tell us how your week's been, Holly. How's things going?
She told me I've been a pain in her rear, so that's why she's apparently.
That's right. He broke. Yeah. His attitude finally.
Go and say it.
Oh, the thoughts that I immediately went to was like, damn, why did she say it like that? You want to go right now, Holly, or you want me to go first?
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Oh, that was real time, real back. I love that. So how's your week been, Holly? Let's go with you. Let everyone know what's going on with Holly.
It's been pretty good. I have been doing my playthrough of Doom Eternal on stream. I have one more episode left because there's just 2 chapters left. So I'm going to finish it this weekend. I think I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. With maybe a lot of breaks because I was carrying these big old rocks around the yard and I was fine, but now for like the last 2 or 3 days, all of my legs, my arms, my stomach, like it's all numb. So I screwed up my back somehow. My back's fine. It's just everything's numb. So I think my sciatic nerve is pinched and that's just super cool. But yeah, I am slaying in Doom. That's right, BT. Thank you. So I'm gonna finish that tomorrow. Other than that, I got into Verdansk yesterday with FarQ and RSJ Fan and Jonas. So that was a good time. It was good to get back to Verdansk. Been playing a lot of Call of Duty because I was finishing up the last battle pass and now there's a new one. And Atomfall. Trying to get back into Atomfall more. I love Atomfall. But the Call of Duty and Fallout 76, but all of that stuff was kind of taking up a lot of time plus Doom. I've been really playing a lot of it. So, yeah, that's been my week.
Sorry to hear about
Don't look
that.
so
I
upset.
absolutely
Absolutely.
No, I know how you feel, man, because that's, as I was saying to you guys in the green room, that's why the Infinite podcast exists, because I had a serious back injury and was off work for 2 years. So had to change careers, did a whole bunch of study in the meantime, and all other stuff was going on in the background. And I was spending a lot of time in podcasts, watching guys like Dealer, Colt, Fonz, D-Batch, all those guys. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully something positive comes out of your back injury, I guess is where I'm going with that. Fingers crossed. Umbra, how's your week been? What have you been up to? How's things?
Man, no, it's been a really good week. Really good show. I had a really good show yesterday. I had my homie Crusader jump in with me and Danny as we discussed the things, and they slandered Nintendo to hell and back. It was a good show, man. Uh-oh. Okay. That's
She
the part.
just had it back.
That's the
Again.
sick slurp.
Oh. This sound parched. Yeah, like it was a really good week. I had a good show with Boom this week too as well, him and Jamie. And man, I've been gaming, playing, of course, AC Shadows, and finally got a chance to jump on South of Midnight. So got some information on that. Happy to be here with you guys today. Shout out to Garuda. Rest in peace on the show.
Oh, he's not dead.
Is Umbra a little
rest-
low? I feel
Am I
like
low?
he's just a little bit low. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my sound setting.
I mean, I have turned him
I do.
down. That's it's
Oh, well.
accidental.
I understand.
Thank you for
but-
pointing.
Wait, hey, what you trying to say over there, lady?
Damn.
Donte, welcome back. How's your week been? What have you been up to, man? How's things? Are you also playing South of Midnight? Is that what happened?
No.
No. Okay.
Nope.
No. No, not yet. Not yet. I'm too wrapped up in AC Shadows right now. But I will be playing South of Midnight once I either finish AC Shadows or get to a point where I just want to, break it up a little bit. But how's my week been? Week's been all right. Glad to be here. Sad that our boy Garuda has left us. I'm still not over that. I told you, I really thought I dreamt that happened. I thought I dreamt that I was looking at my phone and saw the message, and I was like, and I woke up, I was like, oh, that must have been a nightmare. And then I look at the thread, and it's like, no, it's all true. So, yeah, I need a moment of silence right now for my boy Garuda. Thank you
While
for putting me.
Holly taps on a kid.
Thank you for giving me a close up for everyone.
You're
to see my
welcome.
sadness. Thank
It's
you guys.
such a pleasant sound, isn't it?
I appreciate it. Thanks.
It's like
yeah,
mini
it is sad.
applause in the background for what you're saying.
I know. Right?
It's like,
Congratulations.
There's someone in the back who's going. So yeah, how's your week? Your week's been good. You playing AC Shadows? Yes,
Yeah,
I guess.
no, I mean, all things considered, week's been good. I work in finance, so it's not been good in that regard. But outside of that,
Shit.
me as a person, personal life, it's good. My uncle's finally he's out of the hospital. He's in a rehab place now. Yeah, the heart surgery went good. The valve got replaced.
Oh, man, congrats.
So now it's just like a couple weeks in rehab before he gets to go home. But yeah,
awesome.
So personal stuff, life is good.
No, good. That's really good to hear, man. Really, really good to hear. Because yeah, those things can sometimes go either way, and complications can ensue, especially with hearts, valves, and stuff like that. Yeah, so really, really good to hear, man. My week, oh, dude. So I am so busy at work. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I need like a break. Luckily, my missus is heading over to Spain with the kids. She's like, "You want to come?" She's like, "You know what? I think this time I'll just stay home. I'll just have my holiday right here. That's good. You guys go."
That's your way of
sit
just
here.
basically making sure you get to play games and not be bothered. I'm on to you, bro.
Exactly
I know what
that.
you're doing. I know what you're
Exactly
doing.
that. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna get through everything in my backlog, hopefully. Yeah, a pretty good week, man. Bit disappointed in Garuda. I can't believe he let me down like that. No. A bit disappointed, obviously, that Garuda's headed out. He, I think, is a voice that didn't get enough airtime. I think he's got he's straight to the point. He his takes can be really brutal, but and he dishes them out like it doesn't matter. Anyone can get it with Garuda, I think. So which is I think we need more of in gaming instead of anyone can get it. Get it? That's what?
Okay.
Holly heard anyone can get it. She's like, what? Anyone? What?
I like it. I like how you turned that around.
What?
Yeah. So yeah. Again, just final shout out to Garuda. And he hopefully will be able to come back to the show at some stage and say hi. But
Yes,
yeah,
please.
for now he is gone. And he did leave. That was hilarious. He left the chat. Like, bro, why'd you leave the chat? You don't need to leave.
He's like saying goodbye as if he was like being like ostracized to prison or something. And I'm like, what's going on? Why is he saying goodbye like this?
And then he left the chat, and I'm like, what? Why'd you leave the chat? And he's like, I thought I had to leave the chat. I'm like, no one said you have to leave the chat.
Like, what are you doing? You're still our friend, man. Like, what's happening? It's not like we kicked you out or like that. You're telling us you gotta leave, bro. What's happening?
Man said he's getting water, getting us good.
Yeah.
No show, no friendship. That's it.
He's like, I've been kicked out of better places than this. I'm gonna see myself out.
All right.
See, come on, Garuda.
Yeah. I mean, he's back in the chat, so that's good, man. So yeah, again, last shout out to him. And we will definitely miss him. So look, I want to jump on to South of Midnight, which none of us have actually been playing except for Umbra. And I asked specifically not to hear Umbra's thoughts in the green room because I wanted to get a good understanding, like live, of what we're dealing with. But I'm super hyped, and I'm hoping that it's like what I think it is. And what I think it is I think it's like, you know, your basic sort of third-person mechanics, nothing super special. But it looks like a pretty cool story with a pretty cool backdrop. So that's why I'm hyped for it. Something different that I've never really. It's something like a lore, I guess, or folklore stuff that I've not really had a lot to do with and don't know a whole lot about. So for me, that's the exciting part. Umbra, how you feeling about South of Midnight so far?
Man, I'm liking it a lot. I don't want to be like I'm loving it, you know, and overglaze or anything, but I'm liking it a lot. I can definitely, you know, I feel like once I'm at chapter 4, I got about 3 hours in, and largely because I'm not, you know, I don't rush through these types of games. So I kind of just go around getting my my feel of it. I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty too. So I have died a few times and such, trying to really learn my way around the combat. But it is it's a great testament to how beautiful Unreal is. But it's crazy. It's crazy to say
there
this.
It
though.
is.
Yeah, I had to.
Get that check.
You know, I had to do
that
it.
check.
Like, I know I had to do it.
Cha-ching,
Contract. I'm under contract. Y'all know what it is. Yes.
There we go.
But it's a testament to how beautiful. And I'm sorry to cross-reference this like this. How beautiful the Anvil engine is in AC Shadows, because damn, it made this game look all of the AA it is. I'm not gonna joke. It looks great as far as Unreal goes, but sheesh, AC Shadows looks so damn good that it just made this look less in comparison. So I'm just throwing it out there as a reference. Anyway, that said, it's dope. I'm not sure if the HDR, because I'm not like the greatest when it comes to, HDR implementation was solid. I got to look into that, but I did notice rather when I turned it all on, the visuals jumped for me on OLED. So I'm guessing it worked. but I'm not certain because sometimes I'm thinking this thing is right, and all it did was dramatically alter lighting in some way, and it's not really implemented right. I don't know, but it to me it seemed to have improved the the blacks and everything like that. It's the blacks. And so it looks pretty solid on my end, I have to say, with the HDR implementation. Uh, yes, Gray, you couldn't hope to do what I do. Laugh it away, sir. But no, it's really dope. I'd say the combat isn't. I don't think it's anything to write home about, if that makes sense. I don't think it's bad per se, but I don't think it's necessarily the focus of the game, if that makes sense. It's a
Yeah.
part of the game, but I think the storytelling elements and the lore and the myth, and the culture around the game matters much more.
Umbra,
Talking,
can I ask
yeah,
a question about that?
sure.
Just while you're on that point, before you move on. I feel like that is Compulsion's weakness. I was hoping, I mean, just,
That was the thing they
through
would
their
have
games.
up. Right.
Was that?
Like,
Yeah, I thought they would have hired
yeah.
somebody to come in and be like, okay, well, this is our weakness, because
Yeah. You can tell
they're really
stories.
good at world building, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of the same thing as Remedy to me, like phenomenal at world building, like really intricate, cool music, like story, character development, all of that stuff, right? But then if you're going to have combat in it, it's got to be good. It's just never good. So
I mean,
is it?
what's the name? I think is the exception to that, though, for Remedy.
I don't know. I think Control is the best combat that Remedy did. And
Control is the exception to that.
Yeah.
I think the
it is. It's not great, but it's the
phenomenal.
best they've done. But sorry. So back to so is it that you think that they really just don't care about combat and they just put it in there because it's a kind of a universal mechanic for most games of this, where there's a progression system like the story is trying to portray?
I get what you're saying.
Or,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I 100% get what you're saying, and I think you're right when it comes to that. Having played other games from them, like that. What's the name of that game?
Contrast?
Like Contrast, and then we have a few. I don't think combat is their strongest point either, and I would say that the combat in here is acceptable. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, this is terrible, but one of the complaints I read was that it was repetitive. I would say that the game is only 12 hours, so you're not going to be like, oh, I got to do this fight again, but you're gonna kind of feel it because it's kind of limited.
It's not hard either, right?
It's not necessarily hard. It's only tough because of the difficulty. Like I pushed it up to the hardest difficulty, right? Other than that, I don't, because you have more enemies kind of attacking you more often on the hardest difficulty than maybe the other ones. I haven't played the other ones, so I can't tell you. I only know the hardest difficulty, but they're kind of constant at you on hard. But I think you're right. I think they kind of say, here's the standard fare combat you're going to get in these types of games. And I think the traversal is more of its strongest suit, kind of getting around the world, the platforming, stuff like that.
It's unfortunate because it's so unique that they really had an opportunity to find a weird, unique way to do combat, right? Like,
I agree, and I think Fuzzy puts it best. It's not bad. It's just pretty simple. That's really what it comes down to. The combat is just simple, but it's not necessarily bad or good. It's not something to write home about. You know what I mean? It doesn't revolutionize anything. Some people are like, oh, you got to reinvent the wheel. I don't think games need to do that, but this doesn't really set a new bar in any fashion. So I think you hit it right on the head.
Do you feel though, like, because like I think not like it matters for everything, but in terms of its current scoring, do you think that if it had better combat, it would be a game scoring in the 80s as opposed to the 70s?
For sure. And I think right now it's at 78, so it's really close.
Yeah,
so I think
that could took it over the
100%. I think that would have elevated.
Do you think it's going to go up or down though after full release? Usually they go down a little, right?
I would imagine down, but knowing the trend, but it's 78.
So I think in mid 76, 70, 75, 76 probably be.
It might. I think most of the big league, score reviews that weigh the score have already checked in though. So I don't know necessarily how that might factor in or not. But
IGN, what they scored? I'm just curious.
I think theirs was an 8, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I'm gonna look
Xbox Zero.
IGN gave him an 8 out of 10. More than Starfield.
Yeah.
Xbox Zero would have been like 100. Like, it would have been like
Don't say
maybe
that.
101.
Shout out
Maybe
to
gave
Jesse.
it 101.
You know?
Shout out to Jesse. Love Jesse.
Shout out to Jesse. I still don't understand that Redfall review, brother, but hey.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
We all have our moments, right?
Well, the one thing, even if you disagree with the score, he explains himself expertly. Like the man is so great at it when those written reviews that he does on the video. But anyway, that said, I think that's really, I think you hit it on the head, Holly. And I think Fuzzy kind of summed it up really quick. It's not bad combat; it's just simple. But the more you get into it, the more intuitive you kind of learn, how you want to attack these enemies and such and types. I don't think they give you a lot of variety of enemy types either, but it's not. Again, I think 12 hours. It's like, okay. And I think it is. I'm gonna guess that I'll have the feeling of the foundation is set, that the next game can be even better. That's what I would get. I think Compulsion is probably one of those teams that build upon an experience and improves on the next game. You know what I mean?
And
And
getting the
so,
feeling that this is set up for a sequel, or does it just seem like a
I think the fact that she's a practice, she's like, I don't want to say practicing, but she's become a weaver, right? And I'm not spoiling anything because they tell you all of this. She becomes a weaver, which is, I think, a long running line of people who, cure these taints, the haints. The cure the unforced error.
Is that really what it's called?
They're called haints. I don't know how taints got in my corrupt mind. But that's what happened.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Thank you, Donte, for your professionalism. I appreciate you. The haints. I'm so sorry. Those words are way too close for my liking. What's up, Kay? He's like, what? Yes, Falpy is a Freudian slip indeed. No, but she's a weaver, and they're basically this corruption of spirits and things. So I don't want to go much into it to spoil anything, but I think the story is its strongest element, that in the lore of the world and things like that. So yeah, I think Kay he summed it up really nice. Yes, I have been broken, Kay. Kay summed it up well by kind of comparing the story elements, where the strongest, I guess, the design wise, to Hellblade versus the combat. Kay, help me out in the chat. I forgot what you said. It's like Hellblade elements for a story approach. Combat would be something else I can't remember. And have any of you guys played Kena, Bridge of Spirits?
Yes. And I didn't mind that. Yes. Okay.
Now Kena was dope. I would say though, Kena has better combat. And you see what I mean? So you see how I mean by that?
We were thinking you're about to say like it's on par with Kena. I'm like, oh, okay, good, nothing to worry about here. Thanks, fam.
He did. He was like, yes, that's what I need to hear. And it's like, it's not better, it's worse. He's like,
remember that? Yeah, not that though, not that. Not that. You like that, right? Yeah, it's not that.
It is. Yeah, I think Kena is more polished in terms of how they approach combat, and it kind of gives more variety of how you can attack, if that makes sense. That's the only real difference, and I think it just feels more polished. But that's it. Thank you, Kay. If Riskit, if you could highlight that, all Haynes.
All games. Oh, I didn't mind Hi-Fi Rush.
You mean Haynes?
Hi-Fi Rush is
Big Man Mo.
He probably meant hates. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not the only one with a Freudian slip. At least, thank you for doing that.
He'd just be angry at someone.
Okay. That's not his is the PG version. You went full R.
Well, he talking about draws and hangs. Anyway,
combat formula is like Hi-Fi Rush, and the storytelling is like Hellblade. So the storytelling in Hellblade was good, was really good. Mm-hmm. I kind of wanted a little bit better from South of Midnight. Just what I was concerned, and I didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm like, oh, maybe they don't delve in hard enough. Like, Black Myth Wukong, Journey to the West, for us in Australia, and if you're in China as well, like Monkey Magic, like all that sort of lore and story, Pigsy and like the pig god and the fish god and Tripitaka and like all that stuff I was hoping would be in there. in that Journey to the West story, and then it just turned out to be like a bit of a boss rush game.
Yeah, that's the
so it's
thing about Black Myth for me. It's like I loved it, but when I looked at the story elements, I understood what they were going, but it's like it wasn't fully really, ironed out into the story that you can really experience. You kind of just really going from one boss to the other. I loved it though, but that is what it is, But and again, this is my views only up to chapter 4. So I think it's 13 chapters if I'm not mistaken. All right, and so I have much more to experience, and it might change. My view might change, but from what I can gather, as far as the combat, it's decent. It's just not a home run, but it's not bad. So I don't want anybody to get the idea like, oh, I'm not going to really enjoy it. It's fine. It's fine, as they would say, right? I would say focus more on everything else that the game excels at, and that's the sound quality from 14 chapters. Thanks, Kay. So that's the sound. I thought 13 might have been odd, but no, well.
I think it's 13 in an epilogue, so that's what I heard from somebody else. So maybe that's
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Because I looked at the achievement list and it said 13, so I was like, okay. So I think you're about right. So yeah, I would say the things that you're going to like a lot is the visuals are nice because of Unreal Engine. Sound quality is excellent as far as like the general ambiance, the music in general that they use, and I guess the OST. Yep. So that's really well done. I think. Well, again, I haven't experienced quite enough, but I do love that hearing the catfish talk and hearing some of them with their, speaking, had the Creole, language, and I don't want to say language, the Creole accents and such. And he's like, yeah, come on down here and all, so it's kind of funny hearing that. So it got a lot of charm, I would say, the game in a lot of ways too. So yeah, you all should definitely look forward to playing it. I can't wait to really get through it. I'm going to jump on it after the podcast to maybe get through a few chapters and so but I think you all will enjoy it. I don't know where your mileage may get you, but I do look forward to hearing what you all say once you get a chance to play it.
I think that with this particular game, I'm pretty sure now, and I was pretty sure like the more and more I saw of it, is the story was going to carry me through. First reveal, I was like, oh damn, what is this? It's going to be third person. They said that. I'm like, cool, let's see how they go. I know I'm not a huge Compulsion fan to generally. But then when the more story beat came out, I'm like, all right, cool. I think this is going to be good and the story will carry me through. I think the combat doesn't need to be anything super special as long as it is serviceable, like you say, it's cool. Traversal, though, we didn't really talk about traversal. So just before we do move on, like traversal-wise, puzzle-wise, sort of getting through the world, how's that? Is that just sort of a serviceable thing, or is it a few little clever tricks, or how's that feeling?
I love I love games with good traversal, and I love like platformers. I don't think it's setting any new standards. It's decent. The world is not because you play each chapter, I guess, is in a different part of whatever. So it's not like it's a gigantic open world or anything, which you all might like, maybe, more sectioned gaming. But it's serviceable,
yeah,
I would say.
Myself. I'm like a dumbass. Sorry. Is it like more linear as opposed to open world? Like we can kind of like, I'm going to go to this direction, but like you're for the most part, going down a... Okay.
It's linear because you can only progress really going through it one way.
Gotcha.
But it gives you enough room to go find things, right? Like these, I forgot what they call them, but these energy siphons. Basically, you get to upgrade her skills and things like that, her abilities. I forgot the name of them right now, but yeah, it's pretty linear in general. You can't I can't go some other direction and get to point B from it. You know what I mean? I have to go this one direction at the end of the day. But they do implement like her powers to allow you to get, to progress and stuff like that, or to get items and things like that in a pretty decent enough way. I would say if I had to compare it to floofs, thank you, Kay. I would have never remembered that. So floofs is what they call them, and you pick those up and you use them to upgrade you. Yeah, but I like I say,
floofs is what?
Yeah.
What's that, y'all? What's floofs? Help me out.
What is a floof?
A floof. I fluff with you, floof. Yeah.
That
You know what?
I'm
Now
a,
that I'm saying it, I wonder
I'm
if
about to
that
look
has
this up. I'm about to look this up.
anything to tie to. Okay, a floof is an informal, endearing term primarily used online to describe a fluffy animal, especially a cat or a dog, or the soft, fluffy fur
Mm.
itself.
okay, so it's like a. I think you guys call them. Because I was watching Miss Rachel. I wasn't watching it, but it's always in the background because kids, right? And
She
she
was
calls
watching
it
it. That means she was watching
a,
it.
s-
He was,
a
you were watching
snuggly,
it.
or a cuddly or something. What when you have like
A
a little
furry?
bear when you're a fairy or a fairy? Yeah, you
Furry?
guys got weird names. Yeah, we call it a teddy. That's
You
like
all,
you've
teddy
got a
bear.
hold on,
teddy
you
Are you
bear.
all
talking
have
about a teddy
weird
bear?
names too. You gonna say that and then say call it a teddy?
Are you talking about
Wait
a
a minute.
teddy bear?
Teddy bear, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
we
that's
call
why.
them teddy bears too, bro.
Stuffed animals. We
Stuffed
call them
animals,
stuffed
teddy
animals.
bears.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanna be
Yeah.
your teddy
And what
bear.
Umbra just
floof.
read is just like when people are like, "Oh, look at my little floofer." It's just about their animal. Like it's
Yeah.
not about like, you know. But Kay put the floof thing in the chat for you to read. Does that
Yeah.
make more sense?
Yeah. So
Oh, that's in
Okay.
the world. Okay, that's from the game. My bad. I was like, anyway.
Oh, you didn't know why we
Thanks
were
for
saying
that.
it.
Yeah, I was really puzzled. I was like, yeah, what?
Yeah, no, the
What are we
floof started.
talking about?
Yeah, they are
That's my
the.
bad. That's my bad.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
for
they are the
clarifying.
things you find in a game. Okay, I didn't know. Oh, I thought you were on the
That's what's
same
up.
page with us.
No,
No, yeah. So
I was on a completely different
I
page and stuff.
see.
I'm on chapter 6 and y'all on chapter 2. So my bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
bad.
these floofs are just ability points, like not buffers, but you get them to up your abilities. That's it's like finding like he said, finding some things in what they call those orbs or whatever in Crackdown, essentially, right? They're not as numerous though, but yeah. That said, again, I think traversal though, going back to it, it is pretty fun. I just don't think it doesn't set any new standards. So if anybody's coming into this thinking, "Oh man, I want to do this and jump off the wall here and float and do," you're not going to get that. But what you're going to get is good enough, I think, right?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I do agree with that, Mo. I don't think all games have to set standards. That's my motto as well, I would
Yeah.
say. But I
And
would
I
say
think
I
I also
will.
like the idea of a
Yeah.
compact,
Mhm.
10 to 15 hour experience too. I think
Yeah.
you need those. Every game does need to be 30 plus hours.
Yeah, I mean that's something that I've been sort of championing for like I don't know how long because I've been saying that I think we're in the collapse, to be honest. I've been in the collapse for a couple of years, but I like with the collapse coming. I'm like, I think bigger publishers need to create a bevy of smaller games as well as their big AAA games. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
South of Midnight is a really good example of exactly that. Doesn't have to be like this huge, standard setting, 20-star game. It could just be a nice little fun experience, at $30 or on Game Pass. I think that's perfect.
100%. I think if you come into this with the right mindset of this being a AA game, essentially, that's telling a nice story about, a pretty black girl who has inherited powers that's been passed down from generations, dealing with things that's tied to that lore and into that culture. I think you come into it with that right kind of mindset. I think you'll be fine. As long as you're not coming in like, man, I expected this to be like, blah, 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 blah. I think you'll be fine. Just go in not expecting anything except to have a good time. How about that? And enjoy it for what it is.
Here's a question for you, because I know some people were talking about it leading up to the game's release. How's the stop motion in terms of like, did you adjust to it, or was it
I
like
adjusted to it.
not even something that bothered you to begin with?
It didn't bother me at all. It took me a minute to actually catch on to it because I was moving. I'm like, wait a minute, what about the stop motion gimmick? And then I started swinging, and I was like, oh, I see it now. Like you do a swing, and
so it's there, but it's like so much.
Yeah, it doesn't bother.
Gotcha.
Yeah, some people might see it better than me, but me, I'm like, whatever. It doesn't factor in one bit at all to me in difference. But maybe I should turn it off and see how much it registers. Maybe I'll do that when I try it again just to see. But as it stands, it didn't hurt anything or anything like that for me.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I was a bit. I don't think the stop motion was ever going to bother me though. So that was never. I was never sort of concerned about that personally. So I know Holly, you weren't super super hyped for it. But yeah, I just think this whole game for me was always about like, I think this is a cool setting with probably going to be a pretty cool story. As long as they nail that and it's everything else sort of just fits in, it's nice and serviceable, I'd be happy with that. I think that's a win for Compulsion. And if they want to step it up next time, step it up next time. If you want to keep just sort of hitting this mark, going forward and improve and tweak on a few little things whilst telling because they have told really good stories. We Happy Few was like a pretty good look at I guess politics or a dystopian sort of world. So they do tell good stories. So if they want to continue to do that and then just improve little by little on whatever they're doing, then I'm cool with that. And it's a great thing to have in your stables.
Absolutely. And and this is the thing I've talked to people about before when I talked about Xbox, and I said I think they're in a good direction, right? They have diversity. Not a lot of people can say that for Sony, for instance, right? You could say it for Nintendo maybe, but Sony can't claim that. They don't really have like Microsoft has. You're going to get AA games like this that are easily digestible to get through if you depending on the difficulty and your mileage when it comes to things.
Yeah,
and then major AAAs and all that. Like you got so much more that you can get out of Xbox games, in my opinion. That said, too, I wonder when anybody else is playing this, and anybody who has played it in the chat, did you get a sense that this was analogous at least to like The Wizard of Oz? And you all will get this when you play it. What I mean by that. I have a Wizard of Oz kind of feel how it starts off, and I'll leave it at that. But yeah.
I can sort of see where, I already know what you're saying, because the Wizard of Oz, like there's a big disastery thing happens and she gets removed from her family, where this is sort of opposite but similar because I've seen the start bit, but just because they showed it in the I won't say much more in case people haven't seen it.
Yeah, you got it immediately. Yeah. So I kind of got that feeling as I was playing, like, but yeah. I can't wait to see how it goes and if it pays off in that way and what I think is going to pay off. But again, I'm very, very early in, so I don't want anybody to take this as 100% gospel. I have to play through more before I can really give a full view.
Except Toto is a massive fucking catfish. We gotta jump onto the main topic, the main big topic of the week. But before we do that, we'll get these super chats. Sith Lord Vintage, he's added Vintage on the end there. He says, Friday, my Chicago family and Mag's BFF. I am not Mag's BFF. He is.
Shout out,
he's good. He's good.
Chicago, brother. Shout out to you.
And Highlander Grim 0351 says, Paul went out for the Fallen. I think he's referring to Garuda and Pete. So one out for them. Hamish K with the $5 super chat says, I assumed it would be a vibe type of game with a nice story, fun gameplay. I'm going to begin today. Yes, that's where I'm sort of at, Hamish, and it's all I'm hoping for. I'm not over expecting anything. I think that's sort of a good way to go into it. I haven't played it yet, but obviously I sort of feel like that's going to be the mindset you want to have going in. And guys, please hit that like button if you haven't yet. Share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every Friday. Keep changing where your son lives. So I forget. 8 p.m. EST every Friday. We'll jump into the next topic of the week, which is a huge announcement. Nintendo Switch 2 announcement, which should have been a joyous affair, but some things have really sort of tanked, I think, some of the excitement. Not of Nintendo fans. Those guys are staunch. Say what you want about like any fan on the planet, but I don't tango with Nintendo fans.
Did you?
There's no point. Did I? May have. I may or may not have decided to go 10 toes down. So Nintendo made their announcement of the Switch 2. I watched through the whole thing. If you were in our chat, you would have seen at the end there was a couple of games that I absolutely lost my shit about. I can't remember the name of one of them. Dustwalkers looks absolutely amazing. So for me, I was like, wow. And then it's Nintendo only, so they made it exclusive. Dustblood. Yeah, so like they showed that towards the end. I'm like, That was the. I'm not British.
Holly,
Well, the
that was-
Dustbolts.
What'd you say?
Um,
Was that your British accent again?
well, yeah.
Oi,
No, don't let him do it. It's bad. Mute him. Mute him immediately.
my British
Do it again.
voice is top tier. I don't know
It's
what
so
she's
bad.
hating on.
It's so
like,
bad.
Like
It's
I don't know
like-
why.
Look,
she wanna
lively
hate on me.
sergeant.
As a
Hey,
Jane
boy.
Austen professional, his is like he should have been sent to Australia.
Damn.
Donte, it's crazy to
And
see how
then-
she hates on my voice, man. Riskit, what do you think about my Australian here? It's pretty good, right?
No, it's not good.
It's not good.
Terrible.
Yep.
Okay.
So many haters around me, y'all. So
So look, for I'll get a round of like what we all think. So like I don't want to jump onto the price thing yet. We'll hold back on the price, guys, because we're definitely going to talk. That is a huge conversation. Ties into a bunch of other shit now as well. That political shit that's going on in your country that's affecting the entire globe. However, just the Switch 2 itself, I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. Pretty impressed with the fact that it does 4K. Pretty impressed that it's running games at 4K 60, some of them. Pretty impressed that it has a 120 FPS option. Pretty impressed by Mario Kart World, which is basically Mario Kart Forza. Like when I was looking at it, I'm like, hang on, you drive around the whole world and you race to the objective where you have a race. Hang on, man. I feel like this has been done before. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped about the whole thing, and I am not a Nintendo guy. I have not had a Nintendo since the Nintendo 64. And I bought that thing secondhand, and there's been no reason for me to get it. And yes, they make fantastic games. Mario Wonder, I wanted to play that. There's a few games, and this is the kicker for me. There's a few games on the Switch that I've seen come out. I'm like, oh, I want to play that. But then I see how it runs, and I'm like, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that at 25 FPS. I'm not down with that. But like the game looks amazing. So with the Switch 2 having the back compat, that's pretty much how they got me. I haven't told the missus yet that I'm going to be forking out in Australia $700 and something. With if you get Mario Kart, which you have to get Mario Kart, right? Because pricing, but we'll get into that. So Holly, how you feeling about the Switch 2? Really, I know that you like to buy things, just keep them in the box because they're useless. Yes, yeah. Excuse me, cough. But how you feeling about the Switch? Is this a box product? Where you at?
So I have a original Switch, like first batch launch, and it still works, but it's long in the tooth. I was really looking forward to ordering the Switch 2, day of launch. That's been my plan the whole time until a certain part of the announcement, which you don't want to talk about yet. And then I went, well, maybe I could wait a little while. I don't know about this. The other thing that is like, it's silly, but it's something that frustrates me just because is they never launch a fun version of the console at launch, right? They always put out the basic one, and then like a year and a half later, they're like, hey, here's one that's really, really cute and has Animal Crossing all over it. Or here's one that's Mario themed and it's got this special paint and it's got this and this and this, right? So I like those. And I really wanted that Animal Crossing one. However, I cannot justify taking in my old Switch to turn it in to get half the price back to go buy the new one and still have to spend money on the exact same console, but just with Animal Crossing paint on it, right? Like it's just not something that I don't do that with any console, right? I'll stand and I'll get mad because there's a cool console that came out, right? And some other special edition, whatever, but I won't do that because this just feels like a waste of money. But I don't know. I as far as the hardware goes and the actual Switch, seems pretty good. I hate Joy-Cons. I do. These look slightly better than the last ones, but it's only because they're bigger, so the buttons are slightly bigger, right? And they're only bigger because the screen is bigger. I think the screen is the same size as a ROG Ally now, so it'll be roughly that size. But it's not an OLED, which I thought was really frustrating and dumb because they just did all those Switch 1 OLEDs. There's no reason this shouldn't have an OLED on it. Other than that, I mean, we could talk about the price of the Joy-Cons to replace them when they inevitably fail, because they always fail. Or if you need 4, because Mario, like, the Switch is a great party console, right? Like, that's where you play most of your party games, and you need more than 2 usually for that. So there's another $90 for another pair of Joy-Cons, which I feel like is also outrageous.
Wait. The controller? The Joy-Con, the controllers cost that much? $90?
And the Pro controller, which is only Pro in the sense that it's not a Joy-Con. It's basically like a basic Xbox controller. That's also $90. So
that is,
I have a problem with those prices.
Crazy.
Yes.
That's a crazy markup.
Yes. So Marsh just said the Switch 2 screen is better than the OLED Switch 1. Well, are you I mean I know it's bigger, but this is just an LCD screen, right? Like that's a downgrade.
Well, there is some talk that it's an LED, which is slightly different because LCDs can't really
do 120.
No, they can do 120, but they can't do HDR.
And this does have HDR, right? I think I saw that.
This does have HDR, so that Digital Foundry was sort of going back and forth, like, is this an LED? Because they're saying it's an LCD, but slightly different panels, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, right? Are they going to come out in 3 years with an upgraded panel again and then charge people more? I don't know. They probably will, and people will buy it. But
100%.
It's fine. But otherwise, I thought $450 for just the base console. And of course, you're going to buy. Yes, Riskit. If I would buy this, of course, I'm going to get the one with Mario Kart in it because it's a discount to just buy it base, right? There's some other things that I have complaints about, but I think that the price for the console is pretty fair in the economy and in the market that we have today.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it. Like, what I want to see is the full tech specs, which they haven't released. I've been looking for them everywhere, so I'm like,
it supposedly has its own DLSS, some sort of proprietary NVIDIA DLSS. So that's good.
So what is it? Like, what's in this? Is it an RT? Are they using? They are using NVIDIA, right? So what kind of NVIDIA sort of comparison is it to what sort of GPU? To what are they using? Like, that's what I'm really curious about. Like, they sold me. There's another thing that I want to talk about as well, which I won't bring up, see if it sort of comes up in the conversation. But
Kay is here. So maybe he could say, the rumors before this came out, before they actually launched it, said that it was about the equivalent of like a PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah.
So
it's above that.
Is that actually true? Is it a little better? Is it a little worse? Is it right on par?
No, it's better.
We don't have all the specs though to say just yet. By the way, I did laugh my butt off the other day because Soil Tech said it's DLSS 0.0001. It's not 1, 2, 4, 3, 4. But I don't know. We haven't gotten the specs just yet to say where it is. I thought it was just a PS4 and as good as a PS4 or Xbox One. I didn't know it was a Pro, or at least seen as a Pro, power wise.
Yeah, well, it would be good wherever it lands, right? It would just, like, in my brain, it would be nice to know where it is. Obviously, we know it's nothing current. It's all old, right? But new for Nintendo, and it's fine. It's fine. It's not, like, that's what you're gonna get with Nintendo. Period. Like, wishing for any sort of upgraded high-end console with them, you don't. It's not a thing because the games don't need
Pro,
that.
Though. It's not a PS4 Pro. Like, it's ahead of a PS4 Pro. So it's somewhere in between. For me, just looking at what's possible with the games that it has on it, on the handheld as well as in the dock. Like, that's somewhere between the Xbox One X, PS4 Pro era, and the era that we're in. So the iteration.
Yeah, but we're 2 years away from the next gen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, cool. Yeah, I kind of get that, but I'm pretty impressed with what it's doing, and it's, you know, it's nearly, if you're a console gamer, and I'm not saying for you guys who obviously, you know, got your PCs and all that sort of stuff, your 3080s and your 3060s at TIs that are equivalent to whatever it is, but for a console gamer, like, this is a pretty good price point console to come in and now have access to it a lot more than you did. But before I go into that, so Umbra, how are you feeling about the Switch? Like, something you're going to get? Obviously, you know, they're going to work on blocking a specific subset of the gaming market from accessing
the illegals.
Nintendo outside of
Are you trying to say,
Nintendo.
Howard?
They're going to be blocking them
I
at
said
the border. They're building a wall.
I didn't sugarcoat it. The illegals. They're building the wall.
Oh no! Oh no! Don't you dare!
We're
gonna have Nintendo pay for it.
Yeah,
That was a little too good. That was a little too good.
That was really good.
but you know, I would say, like,
Much
I don't want to
better
jump
than
the
your
price.
Australian accent. I'll tell you that.
Was it better than that?
It
Okay.
was. It was. Yep. You found your calling.
I found it. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, like, I don't want to jump into the pricing part because that it factors into my view, but I'll wait. I'll save it, you know, so for the discussion, like you said. I wasn't blown away. Now, I love Nintendo, right? Grew up on Nintendo, like I'm sure all of us did in some way or fashion. I haven't played or owned a Nintendo console. No, let me take that back. I've played Nintendo games. I haven't owned a Nintendo console in decades, like literally. So, Holly, what's wrong? What are you shaking your head for?
Holding the devs.
What do you?
There's a warrant out for your arrest for years
They
now.
come here.
I've
They
only
don't
watched
support
videos.
devs.
I never said I played them traditionally.
But yeah,
You mean legally?
hey, don't use the L word here. But no, like you know, the thing about like Nintendo, I get it, right? It's got nostalgia, it's got the charm. So when I saw all of this, I saw Super Mario. I saw Mario Kart World. It's hard for me not to say Super Mario, but Mario Kart World. That looked really good. I was like, damn, you know, it's been a long time since I played that. I was in the Discord talking with everybody, all the fellas, and I'm like, man, we got to get us like a Discord play where we all jump in, you know, because it allows up to 24 players and stuff like that. So that was really dope to see. It's a few games that got me, not a lot though, and that's the problem for me. But it was enough for me to say, yeah, I'll commit to getting one. And again, it's because I haven't owned I never owned a Switch. I had played it because I had friends and family who own it, but I never had one myself. Nintendo never, you know, after maybe the GameCube, I didn't see a need for me having one. You know what I mean? So that said, yeah, I didn't even have the Wii, by the way. I didn't have the Wii. I didn't have the Wii U. I didn't have any of that. So I missed out on all that. But family had it, you know, so I did play them. I just never owned it myself. That said, I like some of the things shown here. It's hard to say all of this without factoring in other things. You know what I mean? That's the real problem.
Work around it as best you can. We're going to come back.
Okay.
We're going to come back. Don't worry.
Okay, so let me stick to the gaming and everything. Games look cool. I would have liked to seen more current gen for them, at least current gen for them, because we're like about to move to 11th gen or something now. But the current gen for them games, I would have liked to seen more of that, because some of the Nintendo fans were, oh, you could play Fire Emblem, blah blah blah, that came out on the Wii U back in blah blah blah. Like, no. If Xbox did that, you all would be tearing them apart. I don't want to hear that as a selling point for this. What are the new games for this? You know what I mean? So for the new games for this, that was Super Mario. I keep saying Super Mario World Mario Kart World, which is basically Mario Kart Horizon, right? Which is
Kart Horizon. That's what exactly.
Take it, and you know, hey, take the good with the bad. I'll take that. It's open world, you know, it has weather effects and things like that, and changing weather. I like that, you know, all for that. Dusk Bloods, like you said, looks interesting. The problem for me though is just strictly multiplayer, and it's kind of like an extraction type game. So I'm like,
Oh,
do I
is
want to
it?
play that? Yeah, it's not this. It's not the typical From Software
Ew.
single player story based game. You know what I mean?
Ew, okay. I
Um,
haven't looked into that one, but ew. Right. Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
So, yeah. So that I like it, but I'm kind of like, at the same time. What else was it? Oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza. That looks fun.
Mhm.
You know, tearing through everything. I saw him going underground, tearing things. I'm like, oh, I like that. You know, who doesn't love Donkey Kong, right? Stuff like that, man. It really did impress me. I was not impressed by that paid demo tutorial thing. I'm like, I know damn well y'all not charging for that.
That was the
that
dumbest
was
looking thing.
Yeah.
Like
stupid.
it
Yep.
was just, and I was like, "Oh, it's free, whatever." And then I found out it wasn't free, and I went, "What?
Exactly.
What?"
Everybody in the chat in the Discord, we were all talking. It was like, huh? They charging for that? Really?
It's like, is this the first game that will ever sell like less than 100 copies? Because I feel like this has that potential. I was like,
You
this
know
is
what?
not
Consoles level.
Astrobot. Like Astrobot did it right?
Right.
And it was
Astrobot did it
free
right.
with the console.
Mhm.
Well,
I'm almost
crazy.
afraid that this will sell well. I'm almost afraid because of Nintendo
Ugh.
fans.
It will.
That's the
It
part
will.
I'm scared of.
It'll probably only be
100%.
like $30, and that's why people buy it because it's the cheapest damn thing
Uh.
they can buy. You know.
Yep. 100% it sells well. I'm telling you right now, they'll
Yeah.
buy it because it's like a Nintendo specific thing. It's like really cool. You can check out the system inside the game and like
It shows you how the magnets connect the Joy-Con. Get out of here.
ooh, yay.
It's not even a gaming game. It's just you're just walking around like in a museum. Get out of here. I thought that
Yeah.
was so dumb. And I know some people are like, well, you don't have to buy it. That ain't the point, though, right?
Yeah.
And this right here incentivizes the bad things for Nintendo. It's the same thing to me, like the cardboard thing. It's like, yeah, it's innovative, creative at least. I won't say innovative. It's creative in a degree, right? But it forces them to, like, bad practice wise, to just kind of skim you for whatever cash wise, right? So that's the thing. And again, I don't know. I saw that and I was just like, get out. I thought it was free, and they said paid. I'm like, paid? You must be crazy. Look, see, Magnum said he buying it twice. You see what I'm saying? Terrible.
That makes sense that Magnum is a Nintendo guy, 100%. But I appreciate Magnum. He gives Mag as much shit as I do, and that anyone who does that is a good human being. Donte, how you feeling about this? How you feeling about this? Just try and work around this whole pricing thing because it's the next thing we're coming straight back to it. Straight back to it.
Oh man, I don't think I got much to add on this one, man, because I'm in the same boat as Umbra in this regard, man. I have not owned a Nintendo since probably the GameCube. I'll admit I'm probably not their target audience. While I love stuff like I love Mario Kart and Zelda, but outside of that, like a lot of the games that are on that platform don't really appeal to me. I'm someone who gets caught up in all the shiny, really cool looking graphical stuff that happens on like PC and Xbox and PlayStation. So it's just like I'm just not the market guy for it. So this does not impact me one way whatsoever, except for the one thing we're going to talk about later. That's my only concern. But for those who are excited for this, like, more power to y'all. Happy for y'all. Finally, y'all got an announcement that a new box is coming for Nintendo. Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. I love that. All right, look, let's jump into the conversation that everyone wants to have. And there's a little bit more that we probably could have about this as well. So maybe I'll circle back to something else I wanted to add to it. If you can see this up on screen here, this is it's a brick and mortar store. They do a lot of entertainment gear. They sell computers, TVs. I don't know what the equivalent is over in America, but this is what we call JB Hi-Fi. So they deal with all your hi-fi equipment, and it's the biggest, hi-fi, sells games, earbuds, cameras, all that stuff, laptops, all that. They gaming chairs. They do all that sort of hi-fi stuff, right? Fridges, white goods, whatever you're looking for, right? So these guys are normally pretty good at buying in bulk, and if you go there, you'll normally pick up, say, any Xbox game. You can probably pick it up for $80 Australian, whereas on the console, if you buy it digitally, you're probably paying it around about 118 to 120, depending. Some of them at 90, right? So this is the one thing I sort of wanted to bring up, and I think a lot of people have sort of missed. And I did look into this one thing because I am on my other screen, which I'm not sharing. I've got the pre-order button up there ready to go. I'm just waiting on something to come through. As soon as it does, she's hitting that button. But if you see here over on the Mario Kart section, it's $114, right? And then if you look at Donkey Kong Bonanza, that is $104. So 114 is a roundabout, and it translates differently. It depends on where the game maker sends their games from, right? So this, I think, coming from Vietnam is where they produce. So slightly different to coming from wherever Xbox and PlayStation come from. The price is different. Slightly cheaper, actually, in Australia. However, Mario Kart World is 114, so that equates to your $80, right? And Donkey Kong Bonanza is 104. Which equates to around about your $70, maybe a little bit more, so like about 73 or 74 or something like that. But if you can imagine, that's your 80 and that's your 70, right? So here's the thing. If you look down at Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition on Switch 2, that's 114, right? Mario Party Jamboree, 104. Street Fighter 6 year 1-2 edition, 74. Brave Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Can't wait to play that one. No, but that one's 54. So there seems to be a bunch of levels of pricing. They're not across the board. I'm not making excuses for Nintendo, all right? So just everyone chill. But like, they're not across the board seem to be pricing all of their games at the $80 mark, right? So
they're just going to price the main ones at that price.
So here she's already shaking her head. But like, listen, whilst they are charging a premium for Mario Kart World at $80, they're not doing it across the board. Now, I guess the question here comes in is, does this set a precedent for other game makers to do this? And this is like, the tariffs come into this. And the thing I'd say about the tariffs is the tariffs greatly depend. So like what he's doing with the tariffs to everyone else, what actually happens from there is greatly dependent on everyone else in the globe, every other country, on how they react. Like could be very good for your country, could be very bad for your country, but that all really depends on the tennis match, right? So what's Vietnam going to do? What's China going to do? What's Australia going to do? Australia's going to do shit because our prime minister is an absolute pussy. But anyway.
No, he announced today he wanted to negotiate, and Vietnam did too. They said they were dropping their tariffs.
Oh yeah, he wanted to negotiate, but he said he's not doing a reciprocal tariff. I'm like, you absolute bitch. Like I would have been like, if they want to tariff us at like 10%, we'll tariff you at 11. And then Trump come back with 12, I'd be like 15. You want to go again? Yeah, so
the problem is Trump will meet you there. That's the problem.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
it's like playing chicken with a truck that won't turn.
Yeah, right. You headed for a head-on collision, going that route.
No, it's another Legends. He said this. I was actually got a chance to check out Rand and Jez's podcast this morning. Xbox. Christ, I forget the name of it. Whatever the name of that thing is. Great podcast. I don't often get to see it because it's quite early, but Nerds and Other Legends, he said it in there, and he said, I'll say it again, Nintendo is my abusive girlfriend, but I love her. I love that that made me laugh.
That made me laugh. He knows they got him by the balls. He knows.
Right. And look, I'm all for any Nintendo fan. This is the other part of this, and then I'll shut up and let you guys have your rip into this whole price thing. But the other thing about this is I don't mind if Nintendo guys are like, man, fuck you, Nintendo, but I am still buying it. Like if they like rally against this. And look, I know it's a small minority, but I've seen so many people saying, oh, everyone complained about the $70 price rise. No, you did not. Most of you defended it. Like most of the guys on Twitter, I don't know, it's not the majority, we're like, oh, we get quality games. I'm happy to, I'll pay $100 if they give me quality. You know what I mean? All the talking points, and all of a sudden, since this has happened with Nintendo, I've seen so many PlayStation guys acting like they rallied against the $70 and this is just egregious. Like, bullshit, shut the fuck up. You guys are so full of shit.
They really are.
At least wear it, man.
The PlayStation fans,
the truth.
The PlayStation fanboys have no right to speak on this at all.
No right.
Bobby, that goes for you too, because I remember you doing a bit of that. Well, it's fine. but
Got 'em.
they were calling everything they called Xbox gamers everything but a child of God. You got broke pass over there, welfare pass. You have to pay for experiences here. Gaming is a hobby, it's a luxury. You have to pay brokies. I remember all of that. And yeah, 70
All of
is
it.
fine. I'll pay. Support the devs. Y'all, that's where support the devs came from.
Support the
them.
devs. Yep.
That came from
But
them.
we
I
never
remember
said
it.
that. That's what they're saying now. They're like, oh, that we never said. Like, bull. Like,
Yeah.
people out. Like, you just shut. They should all have just gone back into their little shells and shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Is what they should have done, and let the Xbox guys handle this, because we've been fighting this battle. Like, we know this. We know this war. Sorry.
Yep. And we're the only ones who complained about it. We're the only ones that were like, hell no, like, stop raising these prices.
I tell you what, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Sorry, I'm not going to go too long on this, but if this is the norm, right? So basically, you got Nintendo doing that for most of their first party stuff, and then if you see Sony follow suit, Game Pass is looking even greater and greater, because you like, at least you would know, as long as you're into that higher tier, right, the ultimate tier, that whatever first party comes out, that you're going to have available to you. So I think it sweetens the Game Pass thing, as opposed to saying like, oh, 80 is going to be the standard for anything that comes directly from first party between the major players. That's going to be a crazy time. So I'm completely flabbergasted to see some of the responses, because I can see in no way how we can. I mean, first off, you're paying $80 for the ability to just, you're downloading the game. So what's the additional cost for? You're not purchasing any type of action. I mean, yeah, you're getting the little plastic thingy. What is that about?
Well, listen, it's 90. Apparently, it's 90. So like, it's 80 for the digital and 90 if you buy it, which doesn't make sense to the graphic. The graphic I just said, damn it, Ollie.
Just to clarify before it gets out of hand and somebody jumps in. Well, actually, to be clear, there was 90 euro that got confused and people.
Right.
Okay, so it's just 80 physical.
So $80, right? It's $80. Okay, so $80. You're downloading the game, and I mean, I don't think Nintendo was one that kind of suffered in terms of like selling games and selling hardware, right? They've been the one that's been, still. I mean, PlayStation 2, right? But if anybody who's basically been suffering in terms of the hardware front, it's obviously been Xbox, right? They've been making it up for software sales between the stuff from the ABK. But I'm trying to figure out what's justifying this in terms of like, we have to go from 70 like a couple years ago, and now we're going to reset to 80. And you heard Take Two talking about they believe that they should be able to price games at 100. Like, where does it stop? It's like Netflix seems to be constantly sending me alerts every 6 months that they're raising the price. And I'm like, what is happening, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's justifying why the price keeps going up? Because you're going to price the average person out who doesn't have a bunch of disposable cash to buy.
It's ridiculous, man. I'm
going
to have to find some alternative ways. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Well, they're trying to find. I think they're trying to find. Like, I think the gaming industry will try to find that mark. And but this the thing is, there's never a retreat. There's never a like, oh shit, we hit that mark where people just can't afford this, and then go, actually, we're going to go back to $10 and make it like a little bit more affordable. I mean, you rarely see that. So, like,
for the most part, like, everyone with disposable cash is going to jump on the first purchase, but most people are going to be like, well, I'm going to wait for it to get discounted, right? Because that's what happens if you keep pricing stuff to a point where the average person, like, I used to pick up at least. And I'm talking about my younger days when I didn't have money, right? And I would still pick up 4 to 5 games per year. Then, like, I can't imagine money I made back then trying to do that. I had to make a decision on like 1 or 2 games per year outside of just paying for bills and stuff in my younger days. So I'm kind of curious as to the average person who doesn't have a bunch of disposable cash. Like, now I can make that decision. And shout out to anybody who wants, who's, for Nintendo fans, if you're going to purchase it, more power to you. That's your money. Do what you want. But I'm just looking at it from like the casual person or families who are purchasing games for their kids, and they're like, you're buying your kids cell phones that cost $1,000, consoles that cost at least on average $500, and now games that are upwards of close to $80 to $100. That seems kind of wild.
Well, look, the console is going to be at a minimum. Mark my words, at a minimum 800. The next generation, minimum 800, minimum. I stand on that 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Now we were already set like 700 at the very least. Remember that? Yeah. Well, now for sure. I would say probably about 800, like you said. Yeah. Just to say, like, again, we go back to what sets a bad precedent. And you just hit it on the head, Donte, man. Like, they've already been speculating about $100 games already. EA, not EA, but Take-Two have already been, people around them, analysts. Oh, they could say it could be $100 for GTA, and I saw people literally. Yeah, well, it's GTA. You're gonna have that online. I could say it's worth $100 for that experience. It's like, shut up. And the reason why I would say that is because, like, people are like, well, look at the games back then on Nintendo. They were $70 back on the Super NES. Yes, and our cost of living and rate of pay, what we get paid matched back then. Not now. Like, the world, we don't have the same kind of income that, the income equality is crazy right now. So how, like, getting these and buying like 4 games is what, like $1,000?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, man.
Well,
and it sets the precedent, because now we know if they're going 80, Sony is going to adapt to that, and Microsoft is going to have to follow through at some point.
Yeah.
Can we
do you
talk
wanna sell more
about?
software or not? That's what I'm.
Well,
I'm
that's the
wondering about.
problem, right?
Like, do you guys want to
like,
sell more software?
like,
Man,
there's so many issues with this price hike. It's weird because I didn't expect it from Nintendo, right? Plus, a Nintendo game costs like $50 million to make.
exactly. Why
Like,
is it
their
that much?
their rate of return on these is ridiculous.
They're
Like,
getting like 18 times the return. What the hell?
and they're gonna sell less, but they'll probably make more in the long run. But and then if you really want to start pointing the fingers, it's PlayStation's pay to upgrade. That's where all of this started, right? So if you had The Last of Us, like, not like on Xbox, where if you had the game, you just get the upgrade, it's fine, right? Like, we'll just up-res it for you, no problem. But PlayStation started selling, well, if you own the game before, you could just buy the better version for just another $10. Don't worry about it, it's $10, right? And people did it, which is so ridiculous to me that you would pay for that upgrade. And now Nintendo's like, hold my beer, we'll make it 20. The upgrade pack for all of these is $20.
Right.
Do you know how many fantastic indie games I can buy for $20? Are you kidding me? Like, it's
Donnie said something cool. Said something that it's completely true. When do they have sales? I mean, I know they probably
that's the other
do,
problem.
but it's not often, Like,
no, and
my
if they
niece
have a
loves
sale,
Nintendo.
it's like 18% off. It's not,
My niece loves
So, like-
Nintendo, right? So she'll be like, "Oh, get me this," right? If there's something, if it's either hardware or a game, and I'll look and I'll get it. But I'm like, I hardly ever see sales for them. If so, it's like a few percent, but they don't. They're like, it's been out 2 years, 3 years, still pay full price for the most part.
Their games their games don't depreciate like one of those expensive purses these ladies would be liking.
Yeah.
They sit.
Here's the thing.
Hey, don't start with the purses. Come on. Don't do that.
Here's the thing, right?
Don't do
that.
Purses don't appreciate the way that women treat their cars and their purses, man. Like, that they do not appreciate it in any way, shape, or form. They send out these raggedy old leather
if they
peel
use
it
the
off
purse
things.
more than 2 times per year, man. Don't buy no crazy purse that you're only going to rock 2 to 3 times per year, and then it sits in your closet.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like it'd be as weird. At least as weird as buying like a PSVR 2 and just like leaving it in the box, never touching it. Be strange. Waste of money, basically.
Yeah.
Please.
So what
I
about
also
that?
had to think on it
Pre-order
too,
there.
like, because Holly, you mentioned the OLED earlier, and I'm kind of like, do I want to get this? The Colt's question now, he says, anybody getting it day one? I don't know, man. I want to, because I don't want to have.
Well, I was
FOMO
going
of-
to until the prices,
until the
honestly.
pricing, yeah.
And then on top of that, the launch titles like Duskbloods isn't until 2026.
True.
I mean, they're the Mario Kart, and I've never been a big Mario Kart person. I'm way more of a Mario Party. And I waited. The thing that kills me is, like, I waited to buy Jamboree because I was like, you know what? I'll just wait. The new Switch is coming out. I don't know if it's going to be compatible. Let me just see what happens, right? And then they're like, oh, well, you could still buy Jamboree and pay another $20 for the freaking upgrade. but we'll give you like 2 more mini games with it. You're welcome. And I'm just
Right.
like, oh my god.
And you can use your nice new camera.
And even
play
then, that
play
doesn't
at 2
come out
frames per second with
until
everybody.
yeah,
there's new
oh,
game
and the
chat.
stupid little heads. Oh my gosh. Can we talk about the little pimple heads around the that is the dumbest thing I've
You know
ever
what the vibe I
seen.
got? Did anybody else? Because I saw it after the fact. Because I know I saw Jazz had posted it too. Did anybody else kind of get the Xbox One vibes release for this? Like,
Well, yeah, like the Kinect, but
yeah,
it's not as good as the Kinect, not
nowhere
nearly,
near.
and it probably
Yeah.
cost as much. And then
Mhm.
the other thing, I mean, there's so many things that you could
I
write
mean,
on with this, but like
they did say,
the problem
so
is go ahead.
someone did say, so now we like the Kinect, which I thought was fucking hilarious because I'm like,
Yeah.
we did this,
Yeah.
right? This Holly, keep
Yeah.
going.
No, it just so back to just the fact that originally I was like, I'm just ordering this. Of course I am, right? Day one, I'm in. And now I'm kind of like, well, the price of the console's fine, but I don't really appreciate these prices in games. And I don't know that I want to pay to upgrade my old games, which you don't have to. You can still play them just as they are. So I don't know. Maybe I might get the console and then just not buy games for, another year or so. Right?
Forever.
Wait,
Because
is
crazy,
it backwards compatible?
Yeah, it
They
is.
are.
Yes.
For current Switch?
Most.
Some, at least.
Most.
Not all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most. But they won't tell you which ones are and aren't. So there's that. The other problem is they showed off this party chat thing, like, and okay, so the thing that they did do that I do like that they had a dedicated button for it. I thought that was a good idea.
I was like,
That's
welcome
nice.
to the year 2000. Fuck me. Yep.
Right.
Yeah. But then they're like, oh, just sit here on your couch and talk like you normally would, and the mic will pick you up and nothing else. Don't worry about that blender in the background going off. And I'm like,
Yeah,
Nintendo.
right.
Nintendo.
Yeah, right. Stop it.
Your entire console is $450, and you're telling me you have like Bose level or Bang & Olufsen level quality speakers and microphones in this thing? No way.
Everybody that was in the chat called that out as bull right when they said it.
100%.
That's
100%.
so ridiculous. That was so ridiculous. And then I'm like,
and did you see? Hang on a minute. Did you see the shared gameplay? And I was like watching it.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
We can
the
all play
stuttering.
like 2
running
frames
at
per
fucking
second.
15%. Yeah, it was terrible.
The only thing I thought was kind of nice, but it has like zero use practicality, was the fact that when you are in party chat, and and the other thing is the party chat, everybody you're talking to also has to have a Switch 2. You can't be on a Switch 1. So all of your friends will have had to buy a Switch 2 that you want to call. And like, when are they going to hear about this thing called Discord, right? That you can just use literally on your phone at the same time. But the thing that was nice is that if you did have the camera, if everybody has the camera, you could have like little like little video. It's like a video call below your actual gameplay. Again, I think there's like zero practicality for that, but it is nice that it's an option. You'll stutter probably all the way through, but it's a nice option.
No one's going to do that because
nobody's. That's what I said. Zero use application.
Like
exactly.
Everyone's going to be sitting at home, like not in their Sunday best, like just like I just want to chill on the couch
and they're like,
and talk some shit on my headset.
Like I have a dirty plate over on the side that I didn't take into the kitchen, or like, like here comes.
No one's doing that.
I mean, the
so
camera is
stupid.
bad enough where it might not even pick up the plate, though. To be fair, you might not. Even,
I mean, Umbra, you can't talk. You're not allowed to have this camera conversation.
I know, right? I got
yeah. You shush.
But this is not about me. This is about Nintendo. Let's get back to them. No, but like that thing right there. It's cool that they're trying to improve for. I don't want to sound all bad. I mean, it's cool that they're trying to finally adapt to the year 2000, like you said, right? But it feels like, Nintendo, like you could have made a bigger leap than that, though, right? Like. I mean, we got a dedicated C button to get on game chat. Like, all right, okay.
I do think the dedicated button is nice, but not on Nintendo, because I don't know anybody who really does a lot of online stuff with a Nintendo. You know,
I'm sure there's a lot of them. Honestly, I would imagine. I just don't. I can't say it for sure.
It's pretty new though for Nintendo. They only added it in the Switch, and I don't. Even then, online didn't come with the original Switch, right? Like, wasn't it added after?
Well, one thing. Are you allowed to have a gamer tag now, or do you still have to be 186 20
Right, your
27
social
32
security number, I call
354
it.
No, I've
446?
always had a gamer
Like-
tag. No,
No, but
since
really?
they got
Okay.
online, I have.
But it's the numbers, right? It's not like here's me
No,
here
I have my name. No, it's my
for
name.
people to add
Oh.
you. I thought we had to put like numbers and stuff, friend code for
Okay.
Nintendo.
Well,
you
I don't know.
sure?
I haven't done it in a while, to be honest. That's
Yeah, you
fair. I
probably
haven't-
you probably confusing it with the other ones like Steam and Xbox because you got to use a friend code number.
I'm
for
pretty sure it's
Nintendo.
friend code. Yeah, it has been for a long, long time.
But
Yeah.
I feel like
just
though.
while there's a
Well, but friend code is probably better for Nintendo though because it really closes down because it's a more kid focused ecosystem,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is probably a better system.
you don't
Or at
get
least
like my
me
dick
and
is
one of the
large
kids.
28.
Yeah.
Fucking sending your friend
Yeah.
request.
Yeah. And like BT said, why
Um,
not just have a guide button? Yeah. See, like Xbox is so far ahead. Like we see this, and then even Sony now, of course, they followed after Microsoft. But you see, Nintendo's like, that's what y'all. I said this when we were in the Discord. I said, why didn't Nintendo just poach some talent from one of them and say, hey, help us set up the
Help us out.
infrastructure for this? Yeah.
Help us figure
Because
this
they
out.
don't care. They
They
don't
don't
need
care.
to.
That's exactly what it is, and they know that
Because
even
people
this
will buy.
will be good enough for people are going to buy it.
You
regardless.
build it and they will come.
That's it. That's it. That's
I mean,
the bad
this is
precedent.
what I said
because
about
this is the
when people
wrong
say,
thing to
like-
have to do that because people
You
will
will
buy
say you
it.
can have competing consoles with features. I'm like, no, the fuck you can't. Xbox has been ahead on features like super features
Yep.
since like almost day one, and they have still behind. So features does not win you a console. It's zeitgeist games and stuff like that. Anyway, I want to get into that
100%.
conversation. We did the pricing a little bit, but I saw something in the chat, and I want someone to explain this why to me, right? Because we had a conversation directly, and it was Monad who said it, and I also heard it on Xbox 2. Is it Xbox 2? Yeah, I also heard it on Xbox 2. And they're like, if games go up to 80, then Game Pass has to go up in price as well. Games go up to 100, then the Game Pass price has to go up. And my question to that would be
true.
why?
That's probably true.
But why? But it doesn't cost any
because
extra.
margins.
Yeah,
Because
you gotta-
margins, right?
Well,
you got to stay competitive within the margins, and there's a factor that they're going to look at there. That if the competition is basically selling games at a higher clip, and they're not growing their subscription price, you got to make ends meet somewhere, right? You got to make the numbers
Yep.
make sense at some point. So yeah, like I would say, just expect that it will make sense every at least year or two. There will be some type of incremental increase, and you got to make a decision at some point.
I think
to say if I want to stay subbed or not, right?
There'll be an increase, but it won't be. I don't think it'll be because of this. And then the other reason I would say that is, then you can just go and sell those Nintendo cards. Sorry, the Nintendo guy. I'm sorry,
Nintendo
Magnum.
cards.
Apologize. You can go and sell those guys your games, and Microsoft will your games at $100 a pop, and keep them over here at 70, and then keep your Game Pass subscription. That's the other thing. This just opened up a huge revenue stream for Microsoft, like because now.
Sorry,
The other thing that I
They're
think
not
the
doing
first
people
party,
are
you're still
party
staying
games, right?
70 though.
Yeah, they're not doing this
Third-
for third-party games, right? They're doing this for their first-party stuff for the most part.
Yeah.
But Xbox
But-
could. They could just throw it out there at 80 and be like, take it or leave it, right?
I don't know that
there'll be a
Nintendo
lot of
would
kids who
do
say
that,
it.
though.
I want to
But
play Mario Party, and I want to play Zelda. They don't care. Like our boy said a minute ago, like they got them by the balls, right? So if you're like, I want to play that, what's Microsoft's offer to them for a person who's specifically looking for that type of game, which is an exclusive from Nintendo, to say, hey, you know what I'm saying, like, come spend your money over here with us. Like that, I'm not getting Zelda, I'm not getting Mario Party or whatever, so I'm gonna pay the $80.
Yeah, but
You
you
know,
could sell. So say you were selling Oreo over there at
Or even
Oreo, a link to the
It's
milk.
the Cookie Man.
the Cookie Man. There's a lot of rumors. So one of the rumors is like both the Oris are going. There's a rumor that the Halo Master Chief Collection is going. There's a rumor that there is a bunch of rumors. What else is there's a rumor that Microsoft Flight Sim's going.
Though. They've been
There's a
ask a
rumor.
dumb-
There's a rumor that Diablo 4 is going. There's a rumor that Fallout 4 is going. You can charge these games at a bit of. Let's say they just did one or two of them at 80 to test the waters. But aside from that, they're selling at 70. They just open up a huge revenue stream for Microsoft, which they will take advantage of. And the other thing that I don't think anyone's sort of looking at, and you guys might disagree, but like this machine is playing our gen's games, like the ninth gen's games. The games that aren't on Xbox One, the games that aren't on PS4 Pro. So with that,
which games
comes
in particular?
Nintendo. With that, well, I mean, hang on, let me scroll back up.
I think maybe Final Fantasy, maybe remake.
Well, it's got Harry Potter, Final Fantasy, Hitman.
I take it back. Final Fantasy was a PlayStation 4 game at first, so that not even that.
Borderlands 4.
Borderlands 4 would be
wait.
that would be one.
Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition.
That's not a dumb question.
I have a question.
So hang on. So hang on. Let me just say this one thing. I'm trying to get it out. So they have just stepped into it. Like Nintendo's always been its own thing, right? And they just do their own thing, and the third parties don't go over there, and they don't need them. Well, now the third parties are going over there, and they've stepped a foot forward into the Xbox sort of PlayStation realm. So this they've sort of brought in also competition. So this could make things very, very interesting. Sorry.
So here's a question I would be curious about for someone who's diehard Nintendo and perhaps plays games on other platforms. Like, if you own an Xbox or a PlayStation, and also you own a Nintendo and you get the next Switch, your third-party games though, where are you buying those? Because I would think if you own, go ahead.
No, that was just my point. Is like I don't really feel like people buy Nintendos to play third-party games.
There we go.
Like
That's what
I
I'm
don't
getting
think
at.
so. Like, and people who specifically want to buy a Nintendo might once or twice
But now
dip
they
into
can.
third parties. But Riskit. Like most
they
people
can.
who buy a Nintendo want to play third party or Fortnite or Minecraft, which are all already there. So then you're like, well, they might buy one or two third party one-offs, right, that are coming. But I really don't think that the average person who's interested in all of those third party games is only playing them on Nintendo. I think that they're probably people like us who have a more powerful system and buy the Nintendo because we want to play Nintendo games.
That's what
Right?
that's my
I would
view.
argue for a lot. I don't know how many like we can say versus those who just have a Nintendo only. But I guess if they wanted, the case would our guess would be argued then if they really care for those third party games, they'd have a PlayStation or an Xbox too, right? I don't know. I feel like I hear you on that for sure. But I still know that these third party games are going to sell like hotcakes on this damn console, right? Like Cyberpunk is going to do well on it. What's the name of the damn game again by FromSoft?
I don't feel like any kid is playing Cyberpunk, or nor should they be. If they're
Most of the people playing
parent knows what it is. Like, what?
Yeah, but it's not kids that's going to be buying. It's grown-ups. Like these prices for this is not kid based. This is 30 and 40-year-old based price right here. So these guys are going to be buying it.
I feel like the
Adults are
adult.
gonna be buying
Okay. All right.
that. I would argue.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
looking at
we'll
gamer
figure it
like
out one way or another.
Like my niece, like gamers like my niece, and who like she plays on PC, and then she like sparingly on PC, but games more like what's that game, Repo and stuff like that. She plays stuff like that on PC, and then she loves Nintendo for like Zelda and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, it's not going to appeal to her for Xbox games to be put on there, because those types of games aren't really the ones that appeal to her. Even like something like Cyberpunk is going to appeal to her, but she loves things like Animal Crossing and Mario Party and Zelda.
That's
right?
going to be crazy once they drop
like,
that, by the way.
Yeah, that particular type of gamer, I'm curious to see if they have numbers that they're looking at to say, if they're more diehard, they play those type of, I won't say casual games, but what I'm saying, like the type of games that Nintendo mainly makes, that's their bread and butter, if they can entice them to sit there and say, I'm willing to purchase Master Chief Collection, or
just to throw it out there, by the way,
whatever, right?
Third party wise, sorry to cut into you. Temper mentioned Hades selling well. They showed Hades 2. That's going to do crazy. There's another one, Hogwarts Legacy, trash version on the Switch. So a crazy number of copies. So people will buy them on that. Like they will, like surprising to us because I would never buy that and play that on that damn.
But I think of
console.
Hogwarts as yes, all adults
big
played it and they
IP.
loved it, right? But it's kind of a universal age category
it's a
game,
huge-
right?
it's a huge
Because
IP
Harry
too.
Potter is
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just
I-
saying
I-
in
I'm
terms
ta-
of
I'm-
third party that will sell will. You know what I mean? So like they showed the FIFA, the FC, whatever I guess they call it now, and the Maddens. Like those are going to do crazy numbers. I expect them to do very well on this Switch. I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, I'd like to see, some of the numbers because I'm just thinking of it from the perspective of what Riskit asked, which is, Xbox's opportunity and for them to put some of their games in there. And I'm just kind of like, okay, well, if I think of the diehard Nintendo gamer, not someone who already has both systems, right? Someone who mainly plays Nintendo, the games that Xbox has. I mean, things like Diablo, that makes sense, right? To me, I can feel like that can translate well between Nintendo players
For
and also
sure.
people play. But like, I don't know if Halo's gonna appeal to them or Gears. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know. Be interesting to see how if they put it on there and it does. But I'm just kind of curious to see if that type of player on Nintendo actually looks at those games and
I
says,
want to see that too. Yeah, I want to see that too. And by the way, I missed out on talking about Metroid Prime 4, but that's because it looked so underwhelming. I know somebody. I'm sorry, Magnum. I know you were like, oh, that had me excited. That did nothing for me. It looks
the
so
graphics were
boring and
so
bland.
old.
Yeah, it don't look old as hell.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, this is Metroid Prime 4. I'm sure it's going to be a good game, but it did not wow me at all. But so for that reason, I feel like maybe Halo Master Chief Collection could possibly do something. I'm just really interested in seeing how this goes, honestly.
But there's infinitely, that's the other thing to your point, just circling back, because I need to run out, refill the coffee. But circling back to your point, Holly, is that there's infinitely, because you're like, I think that most people who play these games will have the two consoles, right? But there's infinitely more Nintendo Switches in the world than there is PlayStation or Xbox. So there is
I think that's
more
because people buy them for
Nintendo
their
people.
kids more often.
And
Like, though, if you look at Asia,
I would say Nintendo more so than any of the other console makers benefit more from their first party games that are exclusive between Xbox or PlayStation. Because like a good Mario game drops, it's selling like crazy. A good Zelda game drops, it's selling like crazy, guaranteed.
And it's also because they are exclusive and they are the special case for exclusivity. I would argue more than anybody else, for sure. Like, I have a Nintendo. I'm never buying a third-party game on that. I'm only buying Nintendo. And I feel like there's a large bulk of the people who own Nintendo are either, kids, right? Parents have got them for their kids. And they're not buying tons of games for them. Or they're people like us who have other gaming platforms, PC or whatever. And then you just buy the Nintendo to play those casual, like one-off games that come from Nintendo that you really, that you really enjoy and you want to play.
Now, if you're telling me, Riskit, that like Nintendo is trying to pivot a little bit and trying to make themselves broaden their market, where it's not just we're the exclusives machine and we want to appeal more to third parties, then I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes, because we'll learn more when the specs actually come out and can see how some of the more like graphically intense games that might go over there would perform. Like, I'm really curious to see like how is Cyberpunk going to perform on it, considering like how it performed on the Series S when it came out. How would it perform on whatever their new console is?
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting because DLSS, the hardware. I'm boring you, Holly. I'm sorry. No, but the DLSS, the DLSS hardware is infinitely ahead of anything that the Xbox and the PlayStation has. Like it just is. So if they've got a hardware solution for their DLSS and they are using RTX for that, which is apparently what they're doing, they might be able to pull some things out of this. That's why I think it's more like it's between the Pro and say the Xbox Series X in performance, and I'm interested to see what they can do with it. But yeah, the other reason why I'm a day one is because I didn't have a Switch. I haven't picked up a Nintendo for a long time, and there's a bevy of games. They're bigger hit games that they've had through the Switch, and then even some of the GameCube games and so on that I haven't played that I will be able to experience on the Switch 2 now. And the hardware is at a point where I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that sort of level of graphic fidelity, and maybe there's more that they can pull out of it. So I think there's going to be a lot of me's out there too.
Are they going to get rid of forever? I think I heard they did pull it down, but I don't know if they're going to bring it back. They used to have the voucher deal where you could get 2 brand new games for $100 digitally.
Okay.
I wonder if they're going to do that for the Switch 2 games. Probably not for $100, but if they're going to provide some sort of deal like that, that would be good to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are doing the share game thing as well, right? Umbra, which I think is probably what you're jumping in on.
I was going to say, I actually talked to Kaz Risk. He's like, I'll game share with you if you raise your score from what I gave it, right? I'm like, well, hey, I gave it this then, right? So I'm trying to do some game sharing. Anybody that want a game share with Umbra, hit me up, because I'm not paying 80 and 90 or whatever it is. I'm not paying $80 plus tax. You all going to have to help me through this generation for Nintendo, okay? Help a brother out. If you want me to be on the up and up and not our mateys, I need you to game share with me, Holly.
So wait,
okay?
so Umbra, you buying one?
I'll game share with you.
What'd you say, Donte?
You buying one?
I'm thinking of getting one, man. I'm thinking of getting one. Now it depends. Now it depends.
No, what
because
that
we got this.
the
retailers here are going to try to raise their price.
Gotcha.
Yeah, now they're talking about $600. I'm not getting one. It's just not happening.
Well, look, listen. The other thing as well is we like little touched on a little bit. Like the console price is likely to be more than what they've announced. And the reason that because of that, they dropped an announcement. Like I think it was late yesterday for me. Saying that they're holding back on the pre-orders or something due to pricing, due to the tariffs, to see what's going on, because where they produce the Switch, which is in Vietnam, they just copped a 38% tariff. So I'm sure they're just going to try to work that out. I mean, this is why I say they're just going to pass it on to the consumer. But ignore me. We're going to get into politics stuff.
It's a poor people.
Anytime you raise taxes on the rich, all they do is pass it on to the poor.
100%.
They're just like, here, you have this.
People right here's a shitty play for you. Player made a great point, and I've heard this mentioned by somebody else too. Could you highlight him? Player. He says another thing people are not talking about is if all third-party games are being developed with the Switch 2 in mind, will it hold back the generation? 100%. That's a good question. Remember how they did the Series S, y'all.
Oh, here we go.
Are they going to have that same energy for this? I don't think
here
they
we
will.
Go.
They won't, right? We know they won't. Now, unless they just talking about, we're just going to give you the older games we already had for this gen here, and not move forward and give them the games, which we know is not going to happen. They're going to try to profit whatever they have to put it on that Switch, right? So are people going to use that same complaint that they use against Xbox for Nintendo? That's what we have to see. Magnum, I'm talking to you since you called me a graphics whore. How dare you? I am.
Oh, look.
Yes.
So am I, but I mean, on the Series X is just fine for, like, if you look at Assassin's Creed on the Series X, I'm absolutely happy with what that thing does. With the VRR display, I mean, I know that Deadly Headley just got himself I'm very disappointed in that man. He's now getting a PC. But he's gonna
moving forward, huh?
Yeah, he's a PC master race. He's getting
my man.
He's got himself a VRR display that runs at 120, and he's just trying stuff out. And he's like, "Wow, this is so." Yeah, like, but when you run it at 40 and it's got that variable refresh rate, it looks amazing. You're getting quality and performance, and it's smooth as butter, like the way I've been playing it. So I'm happy with that.
The only time I notice it's a little jittery is like when you actually just return back to your hideout. Like, for some reason, when you're in the hideout, it does a little weird thing. But when you're out in the rest of the world, it's been running pretty smooth. So,
yeah, because the hideout has full ray tracing and ambient occlusion. So it's really
more.
Yeah, so it's for some reason in the hideout, maybe because it's just preloading that small area, they've gone all in on everything. So it's almost like going from like medium or like mid settings, mid high settings to full high settings for some reason. That was on Digital Foundry, and it was cool. They do it on the Series S too. So when the Series S doesn't have ray tracing and ambient occlusion either in the world generally, and it still looks fucking good, by the way. Like on shitty screens that I've been playing it off on while I'm working, Not while I'm working, but while I'm at work.
Yeah, while you're working. While you're working,
It's we got you.
Man's hyping the
It looks
report,
really, really
then
good.
moving
So
every 2 inches on the game as he do it.
He's lying.
it's like,
Gotcha.
I get back to you, boss. Hang on a minute. I got to kill this boss, and then no, you gonna kill me? No, I'm not gonna kill. I mean, the boss, the game. Oh no.
Like, what are you doing in there? Get off of that. But I was going to say too that the 40 frames per second does look decent if you have a decent, like if you have an OLED, it absolutely plays through nicely. I saw it. I experienced it myself with Plague Tale, and that did look like it could have been higher than 40 frames. It looked like it could have been close to a 60 just because of the VRR. So the Switch having that too, where you can get 40 frames per second, like for instance in Cyberpunk. I don't know. I didn't even think Cyberpunk would run on this thing, but when I saw gameplay, I'm like, oh, okay, let me shut my mouth.
Well, they've had 5 years to optimize it too.
That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. To be fair. Yeah.
I mean, it runs on the Xbox One.
Right. Yeah. It runs it to the ground.
Around.
Yeah. I mean, I was fortunate to have the 1X at that time, so I was good. But seeing it do that and have 40 frames per second option like that, that's pretty cool. Docked, I believe you have to have it docked. So yeah, that's cool. The system has some things about it that's cool, right? I don't want to like tear the whole thing down, but couple that with the pricing, and it's like, I don't know now. That's the problem. The pricing is the problem. It's not even a console price. It's the games that's the problematic. They're toxic. Toxic pricing.
He just went straight to toxic. Yeah, look, for me, day one, just because they all the games that they've announced, like Mario Wonder and Breath of the Wild and all that stuff, I never played that, so I want to go back and check that out, and I'll check it out on the Switch too. And there's a comparisons between Breath of the Wild. I've been loving it. People are like, are they going to say it doesn't look any different? I'm like, if you watch it, it does look the same. It does, but
I laugh so hard. Okay.
If you watch it, it's one's running at like 25 frames and the other one's smooth. That's right. So you do get a bit. You get a better experience. So like I was happy with the graphics.
20 frames they said, I think. So
yeah, right.
There is that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, but I feel less impressed because I've already experienced that elsewhere. So
think about your PC.
Yeah. You know it. Ollie, don't you judge me. We listen and we don't judge.
We're gonna judge
or call Nintendo.
Who's we?
The Wii U.
Definitely gonna judge.
We listen and we judge, but we don't judge, and we don't call Nintendo to report me because they will come after me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they definitely will.
They're very litigious.
They will come after everyone.
Yes.
And anyone.
If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, Holly. I'm like, she gave me the PC, y'all.
You just send her over a port. You're like, here it's on a computer. Of course, it's
right there. Don't you see it?
We do got to wrap. Definitely, there's a lot more to talk about, but I'm really conscious. To be honest, conscious of Holly as well because I know what's sitting in a chair. Well, she's yawning as well. I mean,
you woke.
But I'm also conscious of
you made it.
Of her sitting in I know what it feels like to have like a back injury and very similar in a very similar spot, and have to sit or stay in one position for too long. So I don't want to keep you stuck in that chair for any longer than we needed to. So I will wrap, but there is a lot more to talk about, and hopefully we'll pick that up for next week as well, because this creates a whole new dynamic in the industry for me, I think, just from looking at it. I think we'll start to see that play out with Nintendo having access to the third parties, and I think with Microsoft being able to port, and I have no problem with Microsoft sending their games over to Nintendo. PlayStation different, Nintendo cool. So yeah, I think that we're going to see a very interesting dynamic coming forward. Interested to see what the new COD looks like, all that sort of stuff. I'm day one. Have to get it because I haven't played all the Switch games, so I'll go back. I've already got the pre-order button up. I'm just waiting for this thing to come through. Since it comes through, I'm going to pre-order. Don't tell the missus. Umbra, let people know where they can find you, what you be up to, plans for the week, things, stuff. Salutation. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get through much more of South of Midnight this week and possibly finish it up. It's not a super long game. I want to get back to AC Shadows too, so I don't want it to sound like I'm.
You didn't finish that?
No,
Wow.
AC Shadows is.
Hey, I mean, if you're doing all the stuff I'm
Huge.
doing, I feel like it's
Man.
big, man.
It's huge.
Man, trust me.
It's real big.
I
It's
barely
massive.
finished Act 1, and
Yeah.
I'm like 30 hours in it.
Yeah.
I barely
Whoa.
finished Act 1.
Literally. He's not joking. It was about 20 plus
30
hours
inches.
before I even got to Yasuke. So
Yeah.
Huge.
the way I play, I'm terrible.
It's got a very big. Got a
He's
very
really
big.
trying. He's really trying to get in there.
Actually, it was more than 20
Yes,
hours. It was
yes.
like 40 hours before I got to Yasuke, the way I
It took
play.
me a
Because I was just
minute.
going around the map and killing people and stuff. But yeah, it's the world is crazy gigantic. Now, again, people will, well, the world is so big. I said world, so you can't use it. You can't use world. It's world.
You said big.
I prefaced it. But like you can just go to do the missions. You don't have to go and do all the other stuff if you don't want to. But
Yeah.
that I'm going to get back into that. Definitely going to get through South of Midnight and finish that up. And yeah, man, just enjoy the weekend. I think it's going to be really decent here in Chicago. It's been hitting the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because people get outside and start acting stupid when it gets nice out. Unfortunately,
Not Umbra.
Dude, hey, did you know that?
For some reason,
You know I ain't going
for
out
some
there with
reason,
them.
when you said the 40s, 50s, and 60s, I had like back rack, and I was like,
But yeah, you all can find me back in the 40s and 50s being chased. You can find me on social media, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite, across all social media. Tuesdays, Xbox Factor with Boom, myself, and Jamie Moran at 12 o'clock Eastern. The Fix, my show with Daniel J. McGee on Thursdays at 7 o'clock.
Why does he get porn
My
music
time.
for his show?
My voice suddenly got deep. I don't know why. 8 o'clock Eastern. And back here with
Yeah. Oh.
on the Infinite Podcast here at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
My voice adjusted back to normal.
There we go.
Yeah. So thank you all in the chat for coming through and hanging out with us. And of course, all love to my panel here. And of course, Riskit as the host.
Mostly me.
Absolutely, hopefully
Hopefully
mid.
your back feels better and everything better way. Holly, and
My
everything.
neck and my back.
My neck and my back. I feel like we shouldn't have joked about that.
My
I
bad.
do hope, seriously,
My
hope
bad,
you feel better. Sorry. I couldn't resist. Donte did it. It's Donte's fault.
My name is not Garuda.
My bad.
Oh God, that was awesome. Now I'm a little bit thrown. Holly, let people know where they can find you, where you'll be up to. And hopefully mid-May, Umbra, and like sort of back end of May. Pause. I'll be able to jump back in and say hi on the Fix because I'm that flat out. It's not that I don't watch, it's that I can't be there live. Holly,
No doubt,
before you
no
go to
doubt.
sleep, let people know where they can find you, what you be up to.
I know. So bad.
What streams you got? What's going on?
I'll be sitting with a heating pad on my couch. You can find me there. No, I am going to. I'm gonna try to stream the last 2 missions of Doom Eternal tomorrow. I think I'm gonna start at noon Central Time here in the US, noon. So come follow my channel and hit the ding dong if you want to be notified. And thanks for everybody who has come out and watched. It's been a really good time. We hang out. Big Bad Mo. I always say bad. I'm sorry. Big Mad Mo. He comes out, and so does Bobby. And Bobby, everybody, by the way, Bobby does stream too. He streamed Doom 2016 the other night, and I was watching it. This poor guy, we were like, put it on Nightmare. He's like, if you want. And we're like, put it on Nightmare. So the poor guy put it on Nightmare, and man, I'm not
Tough
Uh,
putting it on
times.
Nightmare. Yeah,
times.
yeah, it's tough. The Doom games don't play.
Yeah.
And also he is working. I'm totally plugging you, Bobby. He is also working on doing game reviews too. He did a spoiler game review for AC Shadows over on his
Oh,
channel.
nice.
So
Nice,
maybe
Bobby.
just go take a look over there if you're interested. Also Tuesday nights on the Renegade Realm. And I don't know what I'm going to play after Doom Eternal. I might try to play
I know what you
I
should
might
play.
try to play a game with Panda.
I know what
Maybe
you should
for
play.
a little bit. What should I play?
You should play God of War 2018, so that way we
Yes,
can get
except
Riskit to finally play
yes, I
Cyberpunk.
should. The only thing is that I don't want to buy that dumb game more than once, and I have it on my PlayStation, and I do not have the PlayStation hooked up to the PC to stream. So
Gotcha.
that means I would have to buy it on PC, and I am not buying that game again.
All right. I get you.
But
I
yes,
get you.
you're right, because I really want him to play Cyberpunk, and that's our bet. As long as
Yeah.
I start playing God of War, Riskit, and perfect, since Riskit just said he's going to have all of this time, and Cyberpunk is a very long game, then it sounds like he'll be playing it in May.
See, it's all coming together, y'all. It's all part
It's
of the
all
plan.
coming
It's
together.
all coming
All
together.
part of the plan.
So,
Salutations.
yep, let's see your face.
Yeah.
It's
All
just as
part
how
of
I
the
expected it.
Hell yeah.
Risky, you are missing out, man. I don't understand how you cannot have played or want to play this game.
That's why
man.
we got to get him to play it.
But
Yeah.
the other
Muted,
DeMarco dude is always talking about the Stanley Parable. I think that's the one.
Oh
he
yeah, I
calls
heard
it,
that.
The Stanley
Yeah, I know
Parable.
about that. Yeah.
It's supposed to be really, really good. So I thought about playing that too. He's like, it's hilarious. It's the best thing ever. It's like my favorite game. Blah blah blah. So maybe I'll try that. But we'll
it'll be
see.
dope.
I'm gonna
Be
go
dope.
from something heavy like Doom to something a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
And do that in between, because of course I'm going to start streaming Doom the Dark Ages on May 13th in early access when it comes out.
Holly, what about like co-op games? Like that'll be dope. And Shrouded, remember? Y'all want me to get on there?
Yeah. That's what I would like to do. I'd like to play with a bunch of different people from the community, maybe Panda, maybe Epic. I've reached out to Epic once or twice, but her schedule and mine is a little hard to get aligned correctly to make that happen. But and also I am going to be on Web Dave on Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central.
He chased you down, huh? He's like, come on back.
Yep.
Risky, you were muted, just to let you know. I know you were talking, but it was not coming through.
Yeah, no.
What a shame.
Oh, okay.
Saying some stuffs. So Donte, let people know where they can find you. Would you be up to? Would you get back?
Salutations. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys all for coming through and rocking with us. You guys are the best. Catch me on the socials, Donte J Moody. Also catch me here on Fridays. I'm gonna go into the next 5 to 6 days of mourning for our brother Garuda. So I'm not taking any calls, and I'll be playing the AC Shadows while I'm doing that. So good seeing everybody. Good talking with you guys, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Absolutely. Yeah. God, there was something I was going to throw in there.
Noise changed his
But I've
thing
lost
to
it.
Doom Guy. His avatar.
But yeah, thank you guys in the chat. You guys have been absolutely amazing coming through every week, supporting us. Really, really appreciate you guys. You are the reason that we are here. So thank you very, very much. Obviously, again, shout out to Garuda, man. Sorry to lose Garuda. Hopefully we can get him back through every now and again just to say hi. Thank you guys in the panel as every week coming through and supporting. You guys are absolutely amazing. Really appreciate the conversation today. Holly, sorry about your back. And let's get out of here. We'll see you all next week. Salute.